Welcome back. So after further review, this thing's fine. I've inspected it. It doesn't seem to be leaking at the pump. It looks like if there was a leak, it was a leak at the fitting. I don't know if it was whenever I was maybe topping off and I spilt a little. I don't know if it's got some sort of slow leak coming out, but I've checked all the fittings are tight, kind of cleaned up in the engine bay. The fluid's topped off. So now I'm just gonna kind of like clean off the power steering pump and put it right back in. All shiny, brand new, like nothing happened. We're going to go ahead and attempt to reinstall. I'm starting to think, could we remove this section? Because all this is just like a little union right here. And basically connect this 90 to the top. Because it obviously looks like it's got the slack. I think we're going to play around with that. See if we can't remove a connection, because every connection is a possible leak point. So now probably you guys are asking, okay, well, if you're going to remove a section of the hosing, wasn't that part important at one point in time? Yeah, it was important at one point in time. So you can see there's got a little plug with some thread sealant right here. And what this was for, let me go by. Okay, yeah, so what this was for was I had a pressure gauge that could plug right there. That was the purpose. That was the purpose of having this union right here. Now, when I put this union here, and quick note, by the way, this is wet, full of fluid, but this is bone dry over here. I don't know if it's because it was covered or what, but like the fitting is dry, this is dry, but this is wet. So here's, kind of part of my consideration of why I should remove this part. Now, when I was worried about putting the new rack and pinion, because this is the Flaming River rack and pinion, versus the old one where I blew out the seal on it, which didn't think it could happen, but it did. Because one, the pump and racing, high RPM, pressures, it just didn't hold up. And so I put a valve in line, and I had this guy to tell me how much pressure that the power steering pump was delivering to the rack under full load. Power steering pump could pretty much pump like 1500 psi to the rack. I was like, maybe that might be too much, maybe it's supposed to be like 1200. Well, it kept dialing, and basically I could never even get, with the valve in place, I could never get up to like 1200. I was getting like 900, 1000. And so I was like, I mean, it's fine. It's some assistance, but I feel like it's bogging, and I feel like it, all it's going to do is put more strain on the power steering pump. So I ended up just removing it, putting a union, calling it a day. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and remove that now. All right. Possible leak point removed. Our steering time. Supply. Shit. There's residual fluid everywhere. It's like, it feels like it's like if you had like a large amount of like fried chicken grease. That's what this food feels like. And then I'll try and open this. Now, if I can get a wrench on this thing, yeah, there we go. Nice and snug. All right, so power steering pump is bolted up. The hose fittings are all tightened down. We can put our little belt. There's our belt. Reroute our belt onto the engine. And I hope I remember it. Pump. The bottom of the belt goes around the bottom of the tensioner. Okay. All right. Follow me. Follow me. Okay. Then it comes from underneath the tensioner around, because that's flipping it. That's kind of like flipping that ridge, the ridge orientation on the belts and stuff, you know, all it is. It's coming up and around to the crank. So, I don't want to shock the shit out of myself. Then, up and around the crank, up and around the crank, it will go around the power steering pump. Heck yeah! Alright. Pull the pulley back. Or the belt to the pulley. Alright. So perfect. So here's what I was talking about. I wonder if maybe you can see better with light. Yeah. So see that gap between power steering pulley, so tensioner pulley, power steering pulley, but the right in the middle, those were touching before, but now they're not. So no more squeak, hopefully. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and crank up the, well, we don't have mass airflow sensor hooked up. Alright, we're going to go ahead and crank this thing up. Basically, the camera view is of the top of the power steering pump right here. If it leaks or is catastrophic or sprays fluid absolutely everywhere, you guys are going to see it first. Alright, well, the squeak is still there. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to see if I can identify the squeak to be that little guy right there, that little tensioner pulley right there. Yeah, there's a tensioner pulley that just oh so lightest spray WD made it go away. It is 100% the pulley and not the belt rubber. Oh, I return it off. Ooh, pretty much that guy, dead center of the screen, right underneath the alternator. That's the pulley. That's the pulley that is made the noise and then went away when I sprayed it with WD-40. Okay, so can I get some room over here? So here's a tensioner, but it's the wrong kind. We need basically the opposite version. So how this is right here, we need that pulley to kind of be on that side. Same thing. Got plenty of those. Yeah. I will say this. We do have these spares. I wonder if we could take apart that thing. Because here's another one. And we just replace it, and maybe it's the bearing in the middle. Alright, well, we got the car back together. The squeak is still there, but we found out that it's not the belt. It's not that it was touching. However, we did fix it and prevent the pulleys from touching. But now it's time to replace that tensioner. And actually, if you guys were curious of what exactly tensioner that I'm looking for, I'll put a little screenshot here. It is the AC belt tensioner for the Coyote Mustang. AC belt tensioner is basically a tensioner but with a face forward, or with a engine facing pulley. I guess that'd be right, because in the other one, basically the examples I showed you there, they're outward facing. Anyways, car's back together. Next, we're going to try and tackle the exhaust leak. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit a like, comment down below, and if this is your first time, go ahead and think about subscribing.